Last week was a turbulent time for Gombe City, just like many other cities and towns across the country. Gombe State government, under the leadership of Governor Inuwa Yahaya, took a very proactive approach to the nationwide protest scheduled to start on the 1st of August by dialoguing with stakeholders and interest groups across diverse segments of society. When the protest eventually turned violent, he worked actively with security agencies and other leaders to ensure that the peace of Gombe is preserved and residents and business owners are reassured of their safety and security. That's our focus on this episode of Gombe's Transformative Journey. Do join me as we take this transformative drive together. I am Lanre Hadiemi. When the news of the planned nationwide protest filtered into Gombe, there was widespread concern that the fragile peace of the state could be threatened. After over a decade of dealing with the Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast region, Gombe State has invested massively to maintain peace as a foundation for sustainable development. Leaders of various interest groups were wary of public unrest and unanimous in their decision not to participate in the nationwide protest. They are unhappy with the country's economic situation, but would rather embrace dialogue and negotiation rather than protest. Each had its own demands. Governor Inuwa Yahaya started the marathon consultations, meeting with traditional rulers and religious leaders. Afterwards, he met with youth groups and students. Chanting solidarity songs with placards raised, the youth of Gombe were clear of their commitment to peace and their faith in the government.
Our presence here signifies a strong commitment to dialogue and rejection of violence as a means to express our concerns and grievances. We understand the importance of maintaining peace, especially within our academic environment where our future is built. We profound gratitude to both the state and the federal government for their continuous effort in improving the lives and welfare of students. Youth groups of Gombe State will not participate, I said will not participate in the planned protest come 1st August 2024. We believe in dialogue, cooperation and peaceful advocacy as the most effective means of achieving our goals. Let us continue to work together constructively, engaging with our leaders and building a brighter future for all. Gombe is our only home. Our fathers, both late and those alive, have given so much in building this state. To this level, Your Excellency, we don't want to be part of this page of history where we will be remembered for destroying these states. We are for peace and not for violence. Your Excellency, that is the stand of Gombe State youth. We are not going out for protest.
Governor Inuwa Yahaya embraced the commitments of the youths, which were in tandem with the resolution of religious leaders and traditional rulers. He pledged that his administration would do more, work harder, and ensure that the people's mandate is fulfilled and Gombe becomes a home everyone can be proud of.
I want to welcome our youth, especially the greatest Gosa members of Gombe State. Our youth, who are the pride leaders and future leaders of this country, and equally the members of the coalition of the Gombe State youth, as represented by Comrade Said, who are here. And also the leadership of the Market Women Association and the Gombe Market Traders Association, who equally sent delegation here to us on this very auspicious occasion. Greatest Nigeria students! Greatest Nigeria students! Greatest Nigeria students! On your mandate, we shall stand. On our mandate, because my mandate is yours. I stand with you. I've heard the complaints and the protests that you brought on behalf of the youth. Can I see all the placards you brought? Please, can you raise them up? Let me see the placards. So many of them. Protest, not the only option. Gombe youth say no to violence. Dialogue rather than protest. Protest, not the only option. And so many more. No leader in his senses will encourage violence to prevail in the society, because without leadership, a true leadership, and if violence is allowed to ensue, it will mean there will be no peace. And when there is no peace, you cannot go to school. What will follow is they will close all the universities, they will close all the colleges, they will close all secondary schools and primary schools. Will you allow that to happen? Will you allow that to happen? If violence comes and takes place, it will mean all our markets will have to close and there will be destruction. Will you allow that to happen? No. Will you allow that to happen? No. This leadership, that is the leadership of Gombe State under my humble self, is ready to give you protection, is ready to support you, and we have been doing that. And I know for sure that is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing upstairs at the federal government. In the homes of what is happening in Nigeria is a build-up of maladministration and miscalculations that took place over the past decades. And it is we as leaders that must now correct all the mistakes and take this country and take it forward to the next level. That is the target. And that is why it is only at this time that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu introduced the student loan scheme. Is that not so? Is that no support for students? And that is equally support for the parents. And that is the main reason why in Gombe State, despite all the calls and the yearnings for student fees to be increased in all our institutions, I said no. Did we increase? No. Did we increase? No. We did not increase because we want you to get free quality education to the best of our ability. So I want you, as we deal with this message, these people that you saw are the leaders of the Gombe State communities, and they are going to extend the message you brought here down to the grassroots in Gombe State, meaning the local governments and the villages. We say no to violence. We say no to demonstration. We say no to this trouble that people are trying to cause in this country, despite the economic hardship that has become necessarily for us to pass through in order to take Nigeria to prosperity. So I urge you to be steadfast. I urge you to remain calm, and I urge you to spread this message of no violence. And I want to tell anybody else who wants to go the other way that the Inspector General of Police, who is the person that has been tasked to take responsibility for our security, the security of both lives and property, has come out to say that yes, and that is the provision of the Constitution. Anybody that wants to demonstrate has the right to do so, but he has to follow the peaceful way. And the peaceful way to go about that is to go and register with the Commissioner of Police, who is the representative of the IG, representative of all the security agencies of this country, and take responsibility. You must make sure that you must demonstrate peacefully if you want, and that is the Constitution. If you argue that it is a provision of the Constitution did not provide that you go violent in order to achieve your aim and objective in whatever way. That is the position of this government. So if you want to demonstrate, Go and register with the Commissioner of Police, so that he will give you the protection you need. For you to come here, police escorted you, and you can see police now surrounding this place because they want to protect you. Otherwise, some hoodlums will take over and cause destruction because they don't want progress in this country and they don't want progress in Gombe State. Will you tolerate that? No! Will you tolerate that? No! So that is the position of this government, and that is the position of all people that hold responsibility in order to see that Gombe State is progressing and Gombe State moves forward. You can see our traditional leadership here. You can see the leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria. You can see the leadership of Jamaatul Nasir Islam. You can see the leadership of all responsible organizations that are centrally focused on giving security and peace and progress in Gombe State. So please, maintain that calm. Maintain that calm and come to us with your problems like you brought now. And in a bit to answer your problems, I'm instructing the SSG, as from tomorrow, please restore the position of advisors from this student. We'll bring back the special assistants that are in charge of coordinating our student affairs back to the system. We'll equally bring back any request that you brought here will be attended to. And that is the spirit of peaceful demand, of peaceful request, of peaceful demonstration. Come to us. Tell us your challenges. Tell us your problems. Because as leaders, it behoves on us to seek for solutions to our problems. And it is only when we do that that we can go with 2 eyes closed, because we know that tomorrow there are good leaders for Nigeria. And I believe you have the capacity to come and take over and lead this country and take it to greater heights. So I pray for you and I wish you well. And I want to tell you that this government will stand by you. This government will support you. This government will address your issues. Scholarships. You mentioned that we paid scholarship even for those governments that did not pay. So for this government, it's just a continuation, and we shall continue to do that. We continue to deliver on the needs of the people. That is also a priority. For the other youth groups, only today the House of Assembly passed the bill, and I will assent to it tomorrow once it is forwarded to me, for the social investment facility to be brought to this Gombe State. Social investment bill. Social investment bill. Social investment will address all these issues of palliative. We are ready to support small and medium enterprises to create windows of opportunity for our youth. That is why we built the Gombe Industrial Park, and industries have started to sprang up in Gombe State, which will give you opportunity, which will give you jobs, and which will bring prosperity to Gombe State. I want to thank you for choosing this right path to come to us this day, and I want to assure you that your message will be handled appropriately, and where necessary, I will forward your request to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Jagaban Nigeria, who is giving leadership to Nigeria despite these difficult hard times, and who is able to take decisions with regards to issues that affect our people.
Civil society with labor and trade unions also met with the state government, where they presented 12 issues of concern to them.
Gwamnatin tarayya ta fara biyan minimum wage ya zama kai za ka fara implementing dinsa.
They are firmly resolved to protect the peaceful atmosphere in the state while willing to work with the government for the public interest.
As the senior stakeholders is the enterprise called Gombe State, including members of the Nigeria Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, the Civil Society Organization, and the Amalgamated Union of Traders of the Gombe Market. and the chairman of Gombe local governments. We came to review the situation of the country, especially with regards to this so-called protest. We have resolved in Gombe State that we are not going to partake in that demonstration. We are peaceful people, we are law-abiding people, and we shall continue to follow the path of peace. And in that regard, none among these stakeholders is going to tolerate anybody that tries to bring any nonsense. And if you feel as it's a democratic right for you to go and embark on any protest or demonstration, we've asked you to go and register with the police so that they will give you protection. And you must give guarantees that you will protect the lives and properties of the people, so that at the end of it, everybody will be stable and peaceful, and there will be the result for the outcome of whatever protest you want to make. You never succeed without dialogue. It's dialogue that brings peace. It's dialogue that brings development. And we are going to go by dialogue in order to move Gombe State forward. That is the position.
The violent tone of the protest on the 1st of August shows clearly that the concerns of the state government were valid. After the initial peaceful procession and assurances by protesters that they would remain law-abiding, the crowd became violent, resorting to looting and vandalism. Several businesses and government facilities were affected by the violence. The security agencies, with the active support of the Gombe State government, were swift in managing the situation and preventing further destruction. Governor Inwayaya intensified engagements with stakeholders and victims to assure them of the state government's assistance. At the central market in the state capital, Governor Inwayaya assured the traders that more prosperous times were ahead.
As you have your right to demonstrate, other people too have rights and privileges guaranteed by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But unfortunately, the incident of yesterday was taken over by miscreants, hoodlums, who caused destruction. I went with you. You saw what happened to one of our pioneer hotels in Gombe, Bima Lodge International. You saw what happened at the Bureau for Public Service Reform. You saw what happened at the Kumbia Maternity Health Center. And there are several others. There are about 5 hotspots in Gombe that saw destruction. And as a government, we will not allow that demonstration or destruction to continue, since it is not done by people that are registered. They are not known faces. They are hoodlums, and they are out to cause destruction. That is why I decided to go around and end up in the market and address the people in the market, because the marketplace is where everybody goes. And without the markets functioning, everything will collapse. And instead of hunger, the hunger will be exacerbated, and there will be poverty, extreme poverty that will destroy everybody. Being a commercial center, everybody revolves around either farming or cattle rearing, or this petty trade that you saw. And you can see that all the people have responded. I've asked them to come out tomorrow and pursue their businesses. And I've asked anybody that wants to protest, let him go and register with the police and get protection. I'm ready to receive any petition, any written record or plea that you want government to address for you. I'm ready to accept. But I'm not ready to condone destruction. I'm not ready to condone hoodlums who will destroy the life of others. That's why I came to address the market women and men, so that tomorrow they will go back to economic activity. There is peace in Gombe. There is no reason why they should not go back to their businesses. That is why I'm here.
The State Expanded Security Council met again in less than a week. Traditional rulers, community leaders, security commanders, and government officials agreed to intensify efforts to restore normalcy and encourage productive dialogue. Those who have engaged in crime during the unrest would also be brought to justice.
Our citizens have the right to peaceful protest, but then there are procedures which unfortunately were abused. That's why we recorded some problems. These procedures are that before you embark on any peaceful protest, you must write to notify the police through the Commissioner of Police. we will then invite you to clarify some issues, especially regarding your grievances, where you want to follow the number of people that are going to take in the protest, the route that you are going to follow, where you are going to seek, at least where you are going to present those grievances. After, we'll now give you protection, because it is a right for us to give you protection, so that to prevent hoodlums from infiltrating into our ranks and to cause havoc. We tried, we did everything possible, but unfortunately nobody comes up with something like that. At the initial stage, we did our best as directed by the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, that we should do as much as possible to see that we accommodate the protesters. That's what we did, until when at a stage they decided to become violent, and professionally, in collaboration with all the sister agencies, we were able to contain the situation. So protests, local protests are allowed. The only thing that we don't allow is for people to hijack it and to turn it into violent protests, like what we witnessed in the command, in the state. But we thank God that professionally we brought it under control, and normalcy is returning in the state gradually. And I would like to use this medium to appreciate the good people of Gombe State for the cooperation that they gave, or they are still giving us, and trying to make to see that at least we restore law and order.
Council appreciated and commended all the security agencies for standing firm to ensure normalcy in Gombe State during the nationwide protests. Council commends the effort of His Excellency the Governor and Government for stabilizing the situation by visiting the affected areas, where he consoled the victims and directed the assessment of the extent of damage and destructions, to make recommendations for government for any necessary support. Number 3, Council appreciates the conducts and behaviors of the law-abiding citizens who resisted and refused to partake in the violent protests in Gombe State. 4, Council noted the concern of the public regarding the activities of scrap sellers, popularly known as Babambola or Bola Jari, and directed the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice to come up with operational modalities to regulate their activities in Gombe State. Council called on parents to take up their responsibilities towards curbing antisocial behavior among their children and wards. 6, Council emphasized that security is everybody's business and urges the citizens to volunteer information on any suspicious faces in their respective communities. This is coming at the backdrop of the fact that some people may have infiltrated and may have been encouraging the violent protests in the community. Government had given palliative up to 18 times. So, but even at that, we know it has not captured everybody, and we wish that we should be able to get everybody and satisfy everybody the best way we can. But that the people should know that additional palliatives is on its way within the next few days, if not beginning from tomorrow. This is coming because His Excellency is deeply concerned by the hardship people are facing. But as a government, we will continue to do the little within the little resources of government to ensure that people at least find succor.
After days of protest, normalcy has been restored and business and commercial activities have resumed in earnest. This shows the commitment of the government of Gombe and its residents to peace and to ensure that the prosperity and development they so yearn for is preserved and sustained. That's how much we can bring to you on this episode of Gombe's Transformative Journey. Do join me again same time next week for another edition. But before that, you can watch this episode and other episodes on our social media platforms. I am Landry Adeyemi.